at the beginning of his public ministry that would ultimately end up at the cross, Jesus drops in as a guest at a wedding celebration. Now, in the Galilean Jewish life of those days, a newly married couple would hold open house for an entire week. This week of festivities was a signature moment in the ordinary life of the village folk, which usually contained loads of poverty and backbreaking work. A wedding party in backwater Palestine would have been, hands down, the event of the year for most of the participants. So to run out of food and beverages at this wedding banquet would have been a social disaster. Well, Jesus comes to the party with his mother and disciples. His presence counters our traditional portrait of Jesus as mild in manner, endlessly patient, grave in speech, and serious to the point of dourness. The Jesus we meet here is a Jesus with a sparkle in his eye, a dimple exposed on his cheek, out to befriend people and enjoy God's creation with them. The Jesus we meet here is the Jesus who comes in bodily presence to affirm creaturely delight. He comes to honor the bride and groom along with poor relatives and rich ones, chatty aunts and uncles, nervous in-laws, and curious neighbors. Let's face it, Jesus likes a good party. Now, just as the villagers are starting to have a good time, Mary informs Jesus that the wine has run out. She senses the immediacy of a social catastrophe. Some folks get a little undone by Jesus' abruptness in responding to his own mother, as you read it carefully here. Woman, what concern is that to you and to me? Jesus conducts himself, though, not according to human conventions, but according to God's will. He listens to another voice. The time to cut himself from his mother's apron strings is now. On his own terms and not his mother's, Jesus independently instructs the catering crew to fill 6 stone jars of ordinary water and take the jars up to the head waiter. The head waiter tastes the stuff from one jar and raises his eyebrows. Everybody else I know puts the good wine out first, and then when people's taste buds are numb, they bring out the cheap stuff. But you have kept back your best wine until now. This wine bursts with flavor. It has a joyful body with hints of amazement and a finish of enduring fulfillment. And the wedding reception continues with great joy, dancing, laughter, and conversation. An anonymous soul once said, "Rich is not how much you have, or where you are going, or even what you are. Rich is who you have beside you." Get the picture here, friends. A joyful Jesus. A joyful Jesus. Jesus comes in beside the people in their celebration, just as he comes beside the people in their struggles. The villagers have been enriched by this fellow Galilean. Jesus enters the lives of ordinary people to bring joy, lasting joy, friendship. It is this same Gospel of John that gives us Jesus' penetrating words. I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. I am the resurrection and the life. Oh yes, Jesus was seriously set on a collision course with a cross where his true glory would be revealed through blood-soaked tears. But on the way to that cross, he stops to blow the dandelion, to place squirmy children on his knee, to enjoy fine food and beverages with friends and even society's castaways. Jesus' entire life was spent in transforming the bland waters of earth into the sparkling banquet of gladness. The God revealed in Jesus is a God of abundance and gladness, whose most enticing promise is a heavenly future of perpetual partying. Who can miss the illusion here this morning, pointing forward to the Lord's Supper when Jesus' final hour did come? In that hour, he would provide with his very own blood enough wine to nourish the whole world with the life of God, which we will receive this morning. Who can miss the allusions to numerous references throughout the Old Testament where the primary image of salvation is a banquet of inclusion, freedom, abundance, and forgiveness? This promised future banquet has become more present in Jesus' first miracle in the little village of Cana. So guess what, beloved? We too are a part of this promise and life of joy this morning. Yes, I know all of us feel that we've been beaten down for the past 2 years by all kinds of worries and concerns, trying to figure out how to do the best thing for the health of yourself and for others. But this promise of the joy of Jesus comes to us in the midst of and in spite of what we are going through. This promise of Jesus does not refer only to some far-off future day. His abundant presence enables us to treat every day as a holy day and every meal as a banquet. I heard this phrase many years ago from 2 retired gentlemen that my wife and I got to know on a rebuilding trip to St. Croix after Hurricane Hugo hit that island. These 2 gentlemen were a little bit like Bartles and James, the old wine cooler commercial. They would sort of go back and forth with their comments. But they served together in their retirement. They went on these trips to help rebuild and go to these places that were affected by different catastrophes. And they set aside this motto for their life together as 2 friends. Every day is a holiday, a holy day, and every meal is a banquet. Even if, and this is what they said to us when we were on a hot roof working, even if it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a Coke, every day is a holy day. Every meal is a banquet. Jesus Christ gives his abundant life to us now. A life of joyous service to others and defiant gladness amid this tired and tense world. Thanks be to God.